Hey, guys. Good morning. Good
Good
morning.
morning. Good
This,
Good
morning.
morning.
it's a party this morning.
Yes.
I've got four amazing women that are here this morning to share with you, to have great conversation this morning. I know some of y'all are probably laying in bed with one eye open. The turkey defeated you. I understand. Turkey, dressing, sweet potatoes, yam souffle, you name it.
All
Like
that
Patty
good
say.
stuff.
Turkey hash.
Yes. Good morning, D. It's sitting probably about right here on your neck right about now. I want y'all to roll over and just open one eye and have this conversation with us. Thank you for sharing, D. Morris. So, guys, good morning. We are here. Hey, Shanedra, what's up, boo? We're here this morning to talk about, of course, purpose. And we're also going to be talking about what that journey looks like. What does it look like to begin that journey to finding your purpose? What does it entail? How hard is it?
Hmm.
And is it worth it? Right? So, I'm super excited to be here with the ladies that you see on the panel, and we're just going to jump right into it. First things first, I want everyone to take out your phones, if you're listening on your tablet, whatever you need to do, and share this out. There is someone somewhere, y'all, that is looking for an answer to their prayers. They're looking for an answer to why do I feel so unfulfilled? They're looking for the answer of, I know there's got to be more out there, but how do I find it? Hey, Tiandra, I miss you. Good morning. Girl, where you been? So listen, there is someone somewhere that needs this conversation. And even if you don't need it, it's okay. You ain't got to hang out, but you must share. So go ahead and click the share button. YouTube, click share, subscribe, hit the button, hit the bell. Instagram, I don't know how you share on Instagram. If y'all know Instagram, inbox me and tell me how to share on there. And all the other Girl, Instagram got me stumped.
Yeah, but you can't share on Instagram.
Girl, what you do on Instagram?
You have to go live on Instagram
Oh,
separately. Instagram, like they all bougie and stuff. They don't play well with friends.
I see. That's okay. I'll figure it out. Next week we'll be talking about the journey to Instagram.
How to navigate Instagram up next.
So, guys, look, let's talk about it. Why do you think? And this is the perfect, hey, Dolores, this is the perfect time to talk about overwhelm, just kind of disappearing into the season. It is so easy to put everything that's around us in priority above us. But then during this season, it's even more prevalent. And for me, it was very stressful. I couldn't find any time to do anything, during this time. No time for myself. Couldn't go get my nails done. There's shopping to do. There's meals to make. And not to mention the pageants for the kids and the choirs. And, at what point do you figure out what is there for you? At what point do you stop being mom and sister and daughter and say, I want something for myself? I want something that is real for me, something that's going to make me feel like I'm contributing to this thing that we call life. So, y'all, anybody can go next. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I would start with this is Latalia. I would start with watching what was modeled to us. I
Mm.
mean, as a little girl, I saw the women getting in the kitchen, taking care of dinner, taking time out of their lives to make sure the children and the men were okay and they had everything that they needed. And so I grew up believing that that was my role and my responsibility. And I took that on proudly. I have four children. And at some point, it got really old. It got really tiring. And so, I mean, I began to teach them how to do what they needed to do to help make the holiday season bright for all of us. But I part of me just believes that it's a conditioning or it starts with the conditioning.
That's true. That's true, because if you never see anything else, and I was the same way. Like, my grandmother raised me. My grandmother, when she started raising me, I think she was probably like 70.
Mm-hmm.
So I wore earbuds. I had a pocketbook, and
Yeah.
she made me wear like these little dresses, and we were all about serving.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Serving, whoever comes over that need prayer. I'm like, this is the most prayingest people.
Mm-hmm.
Every day, Miss Jenkins over here needing prayer. So you got to make the tea. You got to sit a certain way. You gotta, so there's all these boundaries and constructs that we have as women, but none of them teach us to focus on us.
Yeah. And that's something that, we grasp. Well, for me anyway, I had to grasp as an adult, and getting sick and breaking down and going through grief and understanding that I have to take time out for me. I mean, even after I lost my mom, I was so busy trying to make sure that my children were emotionally well that I neglected myself. And I began to get physically, mentally ill. And that's when I realized that above and beyond anything else, I have to take care of myself.
That's that, put the face mask on you first,
Yeah,
and then whoever
absolutely.
you're traveling with. That's really good. That's really good. And I think, part of that being whole and being fulfilled is definitely figuring out what makes you happy.
Yes.
You know, People say all the time, life is too short to work at a job you hate
Hmm.
and spend, how many hours we spend
Yeah.
on a job with people. If you don't like the people, if you don't believe in the mission, it's a hard place to be. It really is.
Well, good morning. I'm Ola,
Hey,
and
Ola.
Hey,
I'm just trying
Ola.
to piggyback on what you're saying. Because you grow up. I grew up with my mother. My father passed away when I was 9, so I was always with my mother, and my grandparents, and I'm like you. They were the prim and proper. The, my mother was, you know, there was a time when they wore gloves when they went to church, the hats, all the little matchy stuff. So I just kind of grew up with that, knowing that, you got to have everything kind of perfect, not perfect, but just in line, so. And then, and like you said, I was on a job for years, and I'm working for them, not working for me. So you don't have, and then a lot of times fear is a big problem with people too. Fear sets in, and so you go through the norms that you normally go through. You don't want to step outside because you're fearful that you're not going to get it right when you get outside, step
Mm-hmm.
outside your comfort zones and stuff. But a lot of times that's a big fear is a big problem that we have as women. We don't want to step out. We just want to stay comfortable in our zone, and with that, you're not purposing yourself. You're just purposing fear. That's basically what you're doing. You're comforting in that fear that you're in. So, you just have to step out. And for me, um, I was married 31 years, and my husband had a heart attack and died. So, I have two. I have a daughter that's disabled. I have a son, but I mean, I'm just there, and I'm like, okay, what I'm gonna do now? Because I left my house. I went from my house. I went to college. And then I came home, and I've never lived by myself. I still today I had my
Me
daughter,
neither, Miss Ola.
and
Me.
so I didn't know what it means for me to be by myself. But then I've been following Coach Danielle Winningham, but I was following her, and I just started. I'm like, okay, I need to start doing something just for me. I'm always, and by me, then I retired. Uh, when I retired, people like, okay, she's not working, so she can do this. She can do this for me. She can do that for me. And I'm like,
Miss
okay,
Ola, talk about that.
that is a trip.
Talk
And
about
you
how
don't realize
people
how
time.
much you're doing. Yeah, you don't realize how much you're doing for others and not doing stuff for yourself. And I just said, let me just stop because and even my daughter's like, can't you just say no to people? But you just feel like you just got in you because, like she was saying, you grow up with this servant thing that you serving others and not yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
I just one day I said, but watching Coach and listening to her and stuff, I said, okay, it's time for me to do something. So I just stopped. So I joined the certification classes and I got 2 certifications. I said, this is all just for me. And you know what? Those people that I started saying no to, they figured out how to do stuff for themselves.
That's
Oh,
amazing.
because
That's
they
a
already
word
have
And
it
I'm
in
like,
them.
to preach.
They
yeah.
have it in
And
them.
I thought because y'all you feel guilty because you don't do it, but then I don't feel guilty no more. I'm
Good.
I'm gonna do me first, and then we'll work out the other thing. If I can do y'all, I'll help you. But I'm working on
Mm-hmm.
me. My journey is me right now.
I
Mm-hmm.
love
Well, me
that.
and my daughter, like I said, she has a disability, so she has, I have, and that's a pleasure to me because I look at her and I'm like, if she can get up in the morning and smile with all what she got to go through, what's my problem?
That's good.
So,
That's good.
mm,
That's good. Miss Ola, you said something right there. It's that, other people are never gonna value you
Hmm.
like you value you.
Yes, ma'am.
So when you feel like you gotta go run, do this, do that, at some point, because I could never say no. It was unladylike to say no.
yeah,
You just don't say no. And if you're busy, you make it happen because you got to put others first.
hmm
So it's this thing that we get in our heads that, any journey that we take that is for us, it's a no-no.
yeah,
You're being selfish, right? And I'm saying it's okay to be selfish in this season to say, I really want to figure out my gifts and talents. I want to know how I can contribute to this world, to the kingdom. And it should be okay for me to take an hour a week to go to a class,
mm-hmm.
maybe 3 hours out of that week, to focus on the things that I need to make myself a better mother
Yeah,
or a better wife.
That's
You know,
right.
I can give you raggedy Chanel, but I just think you would like the fulfilled, purpose pusher a whole lot better than somebody that's just tired and uninspired. So, guys, listen,
That's
tonight
right.
we're having a special webinar at 8 o'clock. If you go to bit.ly/purpose power 2020, we're going to give you a free purpose journal so you can walk this thing out. Do they still say walk it out?
We can say walk it
yeah,
out.
well,
There you go. You can walk this thing out and really document your journey.
Mhm.
It's important. Tiffany, what
Mhm.
you got to say about all of this?
Good morning. And you laughed about walk it out. It is a walk because it is a journey. But
Mhm.
to piggyback on what all you ladies are saying, I can attest to the same situation. Growing up, we were taught position and not purpose.
yeah,
What I mean
Mhm.
by position is you watched what the others did and you imitated it. And has became
Mhm.
more fulfilling for me in my life until I got more in alignment with the creator. That is who and what has taught me more about my purpose. And like you ladies said, we forget about self in a
That's
way.
right.
And if you don't start pulling back some for, I always tell people that I talk to, um, give some and leave some, save some for yourself. Give a little and take a little back for yourself because at the end of the day, if you not taking care of you, you not building you up, then I mean, there's none of you left. So
That's
we
right.
have to, and it was, and I can say this, it was my pain in my life that pushed me into my purpose because we all deal with pains in different ways. It just depends on how we
Mhm.
respond. And I can remember when I was working, every Friday I used to take me $5 and I would go and buy me the things that I like. I would go and buy like the scarf and the earrings, and that was me thinking of myself. And it wasn't always scarf and earrings. Sometimes I would take myself out. I would date myself. And home, when I got home, because I have 5 kids and a husband. So when I was full, I was okay. So regardless of what happened during the day, I took care of me before I went home to take care of others.
Listen, when
Listen,
you said you're talking about, I got 5 kids, I said, I got to take all of them to show.
notice how she paused after she said 5 kids and a husband. Let that soak in, okay? For people like me that ain't got nothing but 1 kid and no husband, and I'm in here over here just like, okay. That was hilarious. Sorry.
But everybody's journey is
It's
different.
different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, whether you lost yourself in a relationship, whether
Mhm.
you lost yourself in being, the best soccer mom you could be, whether you immerse yourself in work, I think our stories are so much the same story. And at the heart of it all is we're taking the journey to everywhere else that pleases everybody else
Mhm.
until we don't know what pleases us. I was telling, I don't know who I was talking to before, but I remember just being this chameleon, if I can explain that. It's almost like
Mhm.
whoever was in my circle, I became that girl.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So if the circle was a bunch of bougie girls, then I was the one that acted out. I was the loud one. Or if I was dating a certain dude and he wanted a certain girl, I would be the ride or die. I could be the librarian. I could talk politics. And that was so exhausting. So at the end of every relationship, I was like, well, who am I really?
Wow. Yeah.
Mhm.
I was good at it too. It's like,
I was that too.
look, right? So it's
Yeah.
all these different layers that we
Mhm.
put on ourselves that nobody even asks us to do.
That's
Yeah,
good.
it's true.
That's good.
Mhm.
I was that trying to please everyone. But then when I entered into my own healing journey, I
Yeah.
was on a search for who the hell am I?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was a wife. I was a minister's wife. I did everything for the church. I did
Mhm.
everything for my family. I was the bank. Everybody came to draw withdrawals from me. But when I had a total breakdown, and I probably never shared this with y'all before, but I had a complete breakdown and nobody was there to support me. Nobody, I couldn't call. They were too busy. I got to work, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't get the reciprocation that I would stop what I was doing to come to your rescue. And I couldn't get that in return. And it made me stop. And it's like, okay, hold up. Why am I really here? And I asked God. I didn't ask people no more because everybody always had their, girl, you're a great writer. Girl, you're a great preacher. Girl, you're a great this and that and the other. I was all these things to them, but I didn't feel connected to any of that. I was trying to be what they wanted me to be. And I was good at it. I perfected it because they kept coming back for more.
Yeah.
So when I had a breakdown, a nervous breakdown, a mental breakdown, a physical breakdown, that's when I began to seek, who am I? Who is Jamie? And I discovered I don't even like scrambled eggs. I've been eating scrambled eggs for 30 some years at that time. And I don't even like scrambled eggs. And so it's just learning every
Yeah.
day. Even now, I'm 44 years old. Hallelujah.
Won't he do it?
Every day. Because there were days before my 40th birthday, I would not celebrate me because I didn't know who the hell I was.
Yeah.
I never celebrated my birthday.
Mm.
And so,
I,
we'll talk about the holidays later. I don't celebrate those either. But I learned and I went on a journey of who am I? What do I love to do? And I learned that I have the control of who I let in my space. I don't have to let negative people in my space. I don't care if you my mama. I don't care if you my dad.
yes,
Say that, girl.
yes,
If you're killing
yes,
me, I'm done being
yes,
the victim
Mm.
of your hurt and your pain.
yes,
Mm.
yes,
I
yes,
also learned that demons attach themselves to trauma. I made it my mission to
yes,
get trauma out of my life. So if I don't have
yes,
trauma, I don't have demons to fight.
Oh, that's good,
yes.
Jamie.
Mm.
A drama.
Yeah, that's
Or
where
drama.
that's where it
Mhm.
comes from. You have to understand that this life is a spiritual warfare. It's not just
Yes,
going to eat on your physical body. It's going to eat on your mental, on your spirit. When you understand who you are, and I hope you hear my voice right now. You hear how strong and confident I know who the hell I am.
Come on now.
All right, Jamie.
Power I have. And because I know that, I'm responsible enough not to let people, not to let demons, not to let witches change my path. I'm on a mission. And I have to be, and I have to understand that people are following me. They're watching me.
Right.
So what do I want to be? Do I want to be the face of faith, or do I want to be the face of fear? Do I want to be the face of just lay down and let everything happen to me?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I can control now. I'm in control. I wasn't in control when I was 5 and I was raped. I wasn't in control then. I'm in control now. Let that shit go. I'm in control now. So when you understand who you are and who you are and where your power comes from, it's easier. It's never easy to walk this path because you're literally walking against everybody else.
That's right.
Walking against the world. So you're going against things that people, traditions, you're going against that. You're going against what you've been taught as a little girl. Be quiet, keep everything in the house. Don't tell nobody your secret. You're going, I'm having to unlearn and unravel. And my good friend Chanel Blackmore said this to me. I'm having to unburden myself with people's stuff.
That's it.
That's been holding me down. That's why I wasn't able to walk in my purpose fully, because I'm carrying everybody else's stuff. I also learned I'm an empath. I feel things, even when I didn't ask to feel it. Look, this ain't even my stuff. This is
right. Take it back.
I got all my own stuff. I got to carry it. But so now I have that burden or that gift, however you want to look at it. I look at it as a burden because I don't want to feel nobody's stuff. Right. But when you learn who you are, you can better strategize on how to live in that lifestyle of who you really are, really. If that makes sense. I was created to be a monster. Pleasing everybody and doing every kind of things. I was created that. But when I learned about who I was and who I was created to be, when I walk in that essence of me, in that, oh my God.
Come on now.
You know why I don't answer my phone all the time. You know why I don't go around certain people. You know why I don't let people pray over me. You know why I choose certain things, because now I'm so protective of this body, of this body, of this soul. I'm protective of her. She's precious to me.
Right.
Okay. I said all
that was good, Jamie.
That was a word.
Look this desk over. I said, no, if I
You
get up
blessed me, Jamie.
Me too.
look, knowing I ain't got no pants on up under here, I'll be everybody across the internet. That's the only reason why I couldn't get up.
Come on now.
Hold my mule.
You know, Jamie, you opened the door to how we birth everything. You know, even though it's not ours, we birth it.
We birth it. We are
whatever those burdens are. We birth everything except our purpose.
Yes, that is the truth. That is the truth.
So comfortable in it, right? We get so comfortable in it that we carry it around, and it's almost like I saw this picture that depicted soul ties. And I want to tell y'all out there, soul ties are not just sexual relationships. It could be a bad friendship. It could be a relationship between mother and daughter, daughter and father. A soul tie is a relationship that you carried for a long time. And if you don't figure out what space to put that relationship, whether it's active or whether it's dead, it just keeps piling up in your spirit. And then you do become burdened. Become just overwhelmed. It was a day, y'all, that I felt so heavy. And I could not shake it. I'm like, no, and this is what I do. I sit down and I start to go back in my mind. Why
Yeah.
I feel like this?
Analyze.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, and and I understand how it is. Hey, Verlin, I understand. But listen, I have to go back. I have to stop myself because if I don't, something else is going to layer on top of that.
That's right.
Talk about it.
And by
Talk
the end
about
of the day, if I ain't did nothing but go to 2 stores, I am exhausted
Right.
Yeah.
spiritually.
Talk
Because
about it.
we don't
Right.
understand there's emotional exhaustion,
Yes.
spiritual, there's physical, there's mental.
Hmm.
And when you start to look at your total
Mhm.
self like that, it becomes easier
Ooh, yes.
Mhm.
Say that.
about what you
Mhm.
want to fool with.
That's
And
That's
you know,
right.
I I also learned I have an overactive mind. And so
Hmm.
when I'm not doing anything, I would think of just one thing. Say for instance, something is on the floor. I would create a situation from just something
Oh
to on the
yes.
floor.
Yes.
Instead of me getting up and go pick it up, it's like, now why they put that there? You really
Mhm.
I knew you said something.
Creating
My
our own
mind would
drama.
just create
Yes,
yeah.
yes, Natalia.
it's just like creating crap and that whole
Mhm.
anxiety, which is a spirit, it would just like build up. And I'm sitting there having a panic attack in 5 minutes or less because I wouldn't stop my mind from going places that it had no place to go in the first place. So it's going back to that control. I got control of my mind. So I started saying, okay, stop in the midst of all this craziness. What do
Mhm.
I know for sure? Let me bring myself back to the present moment and not in my head and get this thing together, get myself together. And so, yeah, that whole mind thing, that's a whole nother lesson.
Oh, another.
Indeed.
Can I tell y'all
Indeed.
that my purpose changed too? Like, even when I found out that I was a healer, I'm now in a space where my purpose is changing. And so I'm always developing wherever I am. So I
Mm.
don't call myself one thing because I'm not just one thing. I'm like multifaceted. So what am I today?
Right.
A big mouth with a cough.
Mm. Mm.
I don't put myself into one thing anymore.
If you're just now joining us, y'all, we are having an amazing conversation. I love girl talk. I love this.
Yes.
We're having this amazing conversation about your journey and your
Mhm.
choice to really, really
Mhm.
Right.
take the steps that you need to find your purpose, and that you are
Mm.
so much more, even more than what you think you are or what you can be. So tonight
Yeah.
we're having a webinar and we're going to kick it off at 8 o'clock. If you're enjoying this flow of conversation, go ahead and share this out. There is someone that needs to hear this. Those of you that will be watching the replay, hey, we're glad that you watched. But go to bit.ly/purpose power 2020 and grab a free copy of this purpose journal that we're giving you guys, something that will help you document your journey and like Jamie hit on, help you stay on track.
Yes.
It's this thing that we do, y'all, that is just like a rabbit shoots out of your peripheral and you stop on your path. You will get off the path and follow whatever that distraction is.
And sometimes it's design distraction.
Come on now,
We
talk about
we
that.
strategically run from ourselves
Mm,
because we don't want to be present with who we are.
That's so good, girl.
true.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
don't want to be present. And it could be a myriad of reasons. It could be fear of sitting with our greatness. It could be fear of the hurt and pain that we would have to address if we got still and focused on our purpose. Our purpose is intricately attached to who we are. And if we're running from ourselves, then we cannot attach to our purpose.
I call
So,
Right.
it emotional cutting.
emotional
Right.
cutting.
You don't
Yeah.
Right.
want to deal with the pain, so I'm just going to self-sabotage
Mm,
myself. I want to keep hurting myself. That's what you're ultimately doing. You're running
Absolutely.
from who you are.
Absolutely. And a lot of us don't have the tools to
Yeah.
be present and to heal and grow from that space.
Yeah.
And so when you have that trauma, you have that pain, and you don't know how to address it, and you think that that is the only way of being, then there's nowhere else for you to go but into further pain and further hurt. And so
mm,
when you have conversations like this where you're saying, hey, there is another way, there is another option for you, take my hand, let me show you the way, you become a source of relief for someone, you know? And so the fact that we're having this conversation is just amazing, Chanel. So thank you for the platform and the opportunity, you know, because we've come a long way, right? We've gone through much in our lives so we can be at this point of having this conversation, but there's so many people who haven't, and that's where compassion comes in.
Yeah.
You know, that's where education comes in and someone being willing to share their light. And so I know the conversation tonight is going to be off the chain.
Fire. You know,
You know,
it's that scripture, you know, that he gives us beauty for ashes. You know,
Yes.
when you were younger, you really can't appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Let me put
yeah,
it this way. When you haven't been taught about what that really means, that horrible relationship or that deadbeat husband or that stupid supervisor or that underpaying job, you don't
Mm-hmm.
understand that, you know, it's that all that experience, whether it's good or bad, all of that leads up to beauty.
Right.
But you don't know where to put it,
Or how to transform it.
yeah.
that's it.
You got to know how to transform
That's
it.
it. That is good. That is good. Y'all, this has been amazing. Oh my goodness. Those of you that are watching, thank you so much. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you so much for joining us every morning, every evening when we've gone live. And tonight, we're going to have a more deeper conversation about purpose, about your journey. This is some me time. Carve out some time just once a week for yourself. Come
Mm-hmm.
and heal those places that you've been sweeping under the rug. So, ladies,
Mm.
what are some final thoughts that you want to share with these wonderful women that are watching?
I
I just want to
I was
say that,
gonna
go on, Tiffany.
I'm sorry. Okay. I was just gonna add to what you was just saying about transfer. Um a lot of women are out there and they haven't been around other women to help
Mm.
them to activate that purpose.
Yeah.
So when we was talking about conditioning is what that's all you know. You don't know anything different. But if you are out there and you're feeling like you're just out of place, that's your indicator that there is something more. There is something different.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to
Right.
reach out and you have to connect with those that are like-minded and that
Yes.
are moving in purpose. You can't stay around
Mm.
complainers and expect your purpose to give birth. It's not going to give life. So
Hmm.
you have to reposition yourself. You have to be prepared and you have to, once you're surrounded with those people, it'll begin to reveal itself. And then you'll know that that feeling that you had all along, it wasn't a false feeling. So, as
Mm.
they say, go with your heart, go with your heart, go
Yeah.
with your heart and move in purpose and get connected with women that are moving in purpose. If
Yeah.
you're not around women that are moving in purpose,
Move on.
you're you
Mm.
you got to move on.
I
So
love it.
join tonight. If you haven't registered, go to bit.ly/power purpose 2020. You will not regret it. Your life will not be the same.
Oh,
Thank you, Chanel.
Mm.
good. Thank you, Tiff.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to say that, the journey that you've gone so far, all that like Chanel said, it means something. It kind of defines, it helps you define where you are now. And once you know your purpose, the stuff that you had already gone through, you know what to do and what not to do. A lot
Mm.
of us don't
Right,
know what to do. And like Tiffany was saying, you need to surround yourself with like-minded people because you don't want, especially if you've gotten into your purpose and your purpose is, you're more positive when you're in your purpose, you know.
Mm.
And so when you can feel negative people around you, so you know not to mess with them. You leave negativism alone because your purpose is the purposes that you have. It's like you say, it's really not for you, it's for somebody else because
Mm.
you're teaching,
right,
letting somebody else see that they can be positive, because
Yes.
even though they're negative, if you continue to stay positive in your path and your purpose, then it draws. Sometimes those negative people can see that they're negative and they become positive people. So you're helping them in some kind of way, helping them to see themselves and to
Right.
gain that purpose. But the purpose that you have is the purpose is for you. I mean, God gifted you with that purpose. He didn't give anybody else with the purpose that you have for yourself. So
That's good.
just walk into your purpose. And
Right.
you just need to walk in the purpose that God gifted to you.
That's good.
Amen. Amen.
That's wisdom right there.
Yes. So,
And
on.
I
Sorry,
was
go
just gonna say,
ahead.
if you're not sure, then join us at bit.ly/purpose power 2020.
Right.
Go ahead, Natalia.
I love it. So I'll add to what the ladies just said, and just say, don't judge your journey. Release the criticism. The criticism
Right.
holds you in a space of being stuck, and it won't allow you to move on and experience anything else. And your purpose is forever evolving. So release the should have, release the could haves, release what I didn't do, um, and let yourself just flow. Give yourself that authority, that freedom to move forward and do what God has for you to do.
Beautiful.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know,
and begin tonight.
Yes, yes.
Right.
ooh, I'm gonna try to say this without coughing. But Chanel, I remember the first time I came to you and I took your purpose class. That was when I came to the class. In my head, I was like, well, I kind of know what my purpose is already. But it was in your class that I really learned who I was. And it was your guidance, it was your love, it was your spiritual teaching. It wasn't you taking the Bible and pushing it down my throat, forcing me to believe what the world believes about religion. You lovingly took my hand and say, baby girl, let me show you. Let me show you where you really come from. This isn't the Bible. This is your history. And you gave me a different way of looking at the world, but looking at me. And it was through that teaching. And so for those of you, and I've been in the place where I was stuck. I didn't know who I was. I was everything everybody wanted me to be except for me. And I was so extremely unhappy. I hired help. I sat under the tutelage of someone whose life marveled what I wanted. It looked like what I wanted. She had peace. And it's not like Chanel don't go through nothing, but it's the grace. It's how she taught me how to pray. Man, that prayer strategy class. Oh my God. Let me tell you, if you don't hear anything else, if you're stuck, if you feel like you can't afford this or you can't afford this and you have all these limitations and all these breaks on your life, I ask you now, trust this one thing. Show up tonight at the webinar. I mean, you tried everything else. Why not try this? This is not, you don't even have to pull out your pocketbook or your wallet for this.
Right.
Right. So come and look and listen and sit under her tutelage. 2 minutes. I won't even give you 2 minutes. It will change your life. And I'm talking from personal experience, not something I heard. I've the first day I was in her class, I've been with Chanel ever since. I'm opening up a mentorship. I want to be a mentor. I want to be a member. I want to be in your Bible study class. Chanel can't get rid of me. Why? Because I trust that what she tells me is the truth. You know why? She said, Google it. Go look for yourself. Don't believe me.
Yeah.
Don't believe what I say.
Yeah.
Go study for you. She forces you to get to know who you are.
Yes.
And it will change your life. So Chanel, publicly, I've done it privately, but seriously, thank you so much for changing my life.
Oh,
that's beautiful.
And by changing my life, you change the lives of my clients because now I'm able to serve them.
That's right.
So I love you guys. Show up tonight, bit.ly Purpose Power 2020. It will change your life if you're ready for a change. Now, listen, I ain't gonna say come and sit down and do nothing. There's work to be done.
It can work.
To show you how to do that work, and then change that prayer strategy. If nothing else, you get that prayer strategy. Get that prayer strategy, honey. I love
Yes.
you. That's all. Good night.
Maybe didn't try to roll me under the desk now. Empty chair. Look, listen, guys. Again, Jamie, you already know how I feel about you. I just, but now look, now I got a frog in my throat. It just really is an honor to serve. And I want that for everybody. I want you to be able to feel like what you do matters. And the way to do that is through purpose. So, guys, thank you so much for this morning. Ladies, I love you. Thank you so much. I couldn't have asked for better.
Happy Friday. Yes, this is how we start our Fridays.
And let y'all go reheat y'all for breakfast. And just enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you, ladies.
Take care,
Thank
everybody.
Bye.
Register.
Everybody have a blessed day.